out. It's 4:30. Sitting at a new spot. We've hunted in the past. Dad's killed a deer back here with his rifle. We've had a Tacticam down here. I'm in a mulch-tree and it's been dead. So yesterday I came here in the morning, tried to hunt, but it was freaking pouring down rain. Just about the time I got set up, so pouring down rain. So while I was back here in the rain, I switched the batteries out. And last night we got a freaking giant buck on camera right here. I think it was like 10:30 last night. I was going to go this morning, but it was raining this morning too, so I'm like, I'm just going to sleep in. I'm in the saddle. This is kind of a preset spot we have where we put snake ladder up. We just put our platform up. We have a tripod right below us that we use for rifle. As you can hear, it's super windy. This tree is freaking shaking. I think I might have set up a little too high. I wish I would have went a little lower. It'll be alright, I guess. The good thing is the sun's in the deer eyes when they're looking up at me. If they're down here in this field, I'm gonna sit here, hold on for dear life because this freaking tree is shaking, and maybe I'll see something, so stay tuned. was like 23 degrees. This is where I'm sitting where I sat like my first real day of sitting this year on the ground. I'm coming up here just because mainly the wind and all the other spots isn't good here. It's not bad. Plus I have a camera right here I want to check. Dad's down in the stand where I hunted this morning. I saw 3 does. We had a really nice buck on camera last night down there. Really nice 8-pointer, the one he saw earlier this season. Been getting this one huge buck in daylight. He's just kind of random. He just randomly shows up. We had him in velvet. Then when everything lost all its velvet, we hadn't had him in a while. Then he's been just showing up randomly in the evening, right at the last daylight. I'm just gonna sit tight. Hopefully we see something, so stay tuned. It's 6:08. I just saw a shooter buck about 30 minutes ago, 40 minutes ago, right down this fence row, making a scrape. Looked like an 8. It's kind of hard to tell. I could only see one side of his rack. But he started walking away, so I grunted. Went over across, I know there's a trail over there where the neighbors ride their 4-wheelers. He went across that trail and started making another scrape, and you could hear him. He was mad, but I don't understand why he didn't come to it. It's just like that 7-pointer I saw the other day. He wouldn't come to the grunt, but he was making standing scrapes every single time I grunted and peeing. You could see his hairs on the back of his neck stand up. Other than that, I've seen that 6-pointer, which I filmed a little bit. I think I can hear something walking over here. I wrap this up, but I seen that 6-pointer that I filmed. It's the same deer Dad saw. He warned me it was coming my way, but got about an hour left. Let's see if we can make something happen. Okay, it's November 1st. It's about 3 o'clock, 3:15. Sitting on the ground right where Dad killed his turkey this year. It's about 40 yards from where I've been sitting on the ground on this property in the past videos. Right here in the corner, there's a couple big scrapes on our property and the neighbor's property. And I know they're on the neighbor's property because I saw a big buck. One time I was sitting over there on the ground working the scrape. He just didn't want to come over. I grunted at him, and I think it was still a little too early. It was like a mid-October. I was going to go this morning, but my alarm didn't go off. But Dad went this morning, and he sat in that corner normally where I sat at, and had a big buck following, not really chasing, but following a doe this morning. And he tried to call and everything, and the buck seemed interested. He heard the call and didn't have anything to look at, so I brought the decoy with me today. Hopefully if I do see something across the field and I do call at it, it might be interested enough to come look at it since there is a decoy. But last year I shot that big, I think it was 9-pointer, wounded it. But last year it was about 33 degrees and overcast and misting, and today it's 80 degrees. Sun blaring and wind blowing really hard. So not really good conditions, but got a good wind at least, so hopefully it stays blowing the way it is. Right now it should be kind of swirling a little bit. It's got me a little worried because I can feel it hit me in the side every once in a while, but it should be blowing straight from the decoy into my nose behind me. So I don't know, I'm gonna sit quiet and maybe we'll see something. Dad was gonna go, but Hunter got in a car accident. A car pulled out in front of him. I guess they said that he might have fractured his hip or something. I don't know. So I guess we'll find out later tonight, but right now I'm just gonna sit and look for some deer, so stay tuned. Well, I'm back to the car. I'm pretty disgusted with myself right now. So that buck came down the field edge like I was kind of expecting but not really wanting, because I knew that was going to happen. I only had a clear hole right there where I put the decoy. I should have put the decoy further down to the left, but I was worried if one came that way, then I wouldn't be able to shoot it that way. But the buck came right out of that corner, and I was standing up when I saw him because it was getting too dark. I couldn't see through those weeds, so I just stood up. And when I stood up, I saw the buck walking right at me. When I stood up, I saw a buck walking right at the decoy like it was going to fight it. I sat back down, grabbed my bow, then I could see it walking through the weeds, but it stopped, and you could tell by its body language that it knew something wasn't quite right, because it was like just putting its head down, picking it back up, putting its head down, trying to just figure out what the decoy was. And by that time, it's 10 yards away from me, 10 yards away from the decoy. So I pulled back, I tried to stand up, and I was higher. I was over all the weeds that were in front of me, but there was a couple branches that I couldn't see. It was just too dark, too little like twigs that you couldn't see. It was plenty light enough to shoot, just I couldn't see the twigs. And you can see my arrow going right at it, and then it hit that twig, and it hit missed it in the front. I tried to look for my arrow. I looked for blood just in case, but I saw the buck. It ran out 40 yards. And just stood there looking at the decoy. It really didn't know what happened to it. And I was looking through my binoculars. There's no blood or anything. That arrow, you could just see it. The lighted knock going right for it, and then it hit the twig, and it shot right in front of it. But it went out there 40 yards. It finally, I guess, was weirded out. It blew once. It ran up the field edge, and I watched it through my binoculars, started walking again. And I went over the ridge, and I couldn't see it. I sat out there for 20 minutes, probably looking for my arrow and blood. Didn't find any. I'm probably going to come back, sit in the same spot in the morning. I'm going to see if Dad will come with me, and I'll just film him. I'm not going to take my bow, because just in case I happen to hit it, which I don't think I did, I won't have my bow with me. So I'm going to see if Dad will sit with me. But that's the same buck, I'm pretty sure. And I know you won't be able to see it at all. Where I was sitting at was so dark. The field was plenty light enough, but I was just over. It was so dark where I was sitting at. That's why the buck got so close without even knowing I was there. But I'm pretty sure that's the same buck Dad saw this morning behind the doe. And today was a pretty good day. There's bucks running around everywhere on all of our cameras. But there's something with me in November 1st. I think I need to stop hunting it. Because last year I wounded that buck. This year I'm pretty sure I just missed a really nice buck as an 8-pointer. But I'm going to be out here in the morning, look for that arrow. And see if there's any blood on it. I'm pretty sure I clean missed it. Okay, well, we're out here. It's about 9 o'clock, probably 9:30 now, 9:35. Things have took a turn. Apparently I hit that buck last night. I looked at the footage and it sounded like I hit something, but I thought it was a tree limb. We've been tracking blood. Here, let me see the arrow. We're about 100 yards, 125 yards on the blood trail, but this is the arrow. So, I mean, it looks like it's good blood. I'm going to keep tracking and see where this takes us, but right now we're on decent blood and the arrow looks pretty good, but I'm going to leave the arrow here. But, all right, well, I'll be back if anything happens. Okay, it's November 3rd. It's about 1:15. So 2 days after the shot, we went in yesterday to look for my arrow. I thought I missed the deer, but I guess I hit it. The arrow looked really good. The blood looked pretty good. We followed it for maybe 120 yards, but we kind of lost it. We didn't want to like take any chances, so we called a buddy that has a tracking dog. We're gonna get him out. We're gonna follow the blood. He says he'll be here in about 45 minutes. So we're gonna get everything started rounded up. He'll be at the spot in 45 minutes. So we're gonna get everything rounded up and get out there. Even with the dog tracker, we had no luck. We were thinking it was too high and missed all the vital organs. We think the same thing that happened to Zach on the hunting public in Minnesota happened here. Too high and the buck is gonna live. We had trail cameras out monitoring the area. We tried everything to recover this buck with no luck. So we're just gonna move on and pray that everything will work out. Okay, I don't know if you can hear me, but it's November 7th. I shot a pretty big buck and I watched it fall. I wasn't able to get it on film. I didn't even have my camera set up. I set up late. I forgot about daylight saving time. So by the time I got up in the tree, I pulled my bow up, was setting up my camera arm, and that buck was walking through checking all these scrapes. This was a hanging hunt. There's 3 scrapes right here. I just kind of went in blind, honestly, but it worked out. I set up in, you can see all my stuff scattered. I set up in this tree right here, all the way up to that limb coming out. And he came from this scrape right here, from behind me, from this scrape right here. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a scrape right here. You can see where he ruffled up the ground, right here. And then there's a scrape down there. He was going to that scrape underneath this tree right here, and I shot him between the tree. And he ran down there. Dad's already down there. I got the knife to get him, but he's down there dead. He didn't make it 40 yards. I watched him fall over, double lung. But we're gonna get him skinned and dragged out of here, down in the ditch. I'm sorry I didn't get it on film, so I wasn't ready. And this was my full daytime job. I wouldn't have even shot, but I don't get too many days out here, so we're gonna go down here and get it all skinned and gutted and everything, and try to get out of here. But stay tuned. I'll show you some video and stuff of them. Okay, this is the buck. It's November 7th, like I said, so it's been about a week since I shot that one buck and wounded it, but it's a pretty sweet looking buck. Made a good ethical shot on this one. He has a split brow tine right here and a kind of a little kicker off his G2 on his left side. He ain't very wide, but I don't know, he's pretty tall and kind of a unique buck. So right here we scouted, if you follow my Instagram, the Hunting Cure, me and Dad scouted this mid-October sometime, I think October 20th, and saw along this edge right here that there's scrapes everywhere, and down in this creek bottom. We have a couple cameras up here and we haven't checked. I brought cards to check today, but I didn't get in early enough. I got in pretty late. I forgot about daylight saving time, so by the time I was setting up, it was already daylight. I was about to throw the camera arm onto the base, and then this buck started walking through, working these scrapes. I showed you up there when I was up there the 2 scrapes that it came from. So it came from that big scrape and it was walking to that second one. It was about a 15-yard shot. Double lung, complete pass through. You can't really see the hole, but it's right behind the back shoulder on both sides, so it's a good shot. And I mean, you can still see my tree from where I'm at right here at 60 yards. And I watched him fall over down here in this creek bottom. But now our work's cut out for us. We gotta get him down here and drag him all the way uphill to the buggy. So I don't know, I'm pretty tickled pink by him. So now we're just gonna probably just go out with Dad and film him, try to get him a buck until rifle season, which is here in a couple weeks. So stay tuned for that.
Not a big one, not, but pretty decent little buck. He didn't go anywhere.